I'm excited to share with you a 1955 Chevy Sedan Delivery vehicle that we built a few years ago. This exterior is not rust, it is paint. When we got to the color selection, we asked the owner, what color do you want to paint it? You talked about a couple of different colors, and he says, I think I want to make it look like rust. I said, well, we can certainly do that. Now, it takes a little longer to make it look like rust than it does to, actually, it probably longer than it would to even do a candy paint job on it. But anyway, that's what he wanted. He wanted to make it look like rust inside and out. The upholstery will look very natural to a 55 Sedan Delivery. We've made a couple of exceptions, and that is the big, it used to be a metal piece that went from behind the front seats all the way to the back tailgate, is now a teak with stainless rods going down it so that if you slide something on, it won't hit the teak. That was our, protective cover. Instead of putting special paint on the teak, what we did is put these half rounds of stainless. Just made it attractive, like a piece of furniture would be there. A Sedan Delivery has a hatch, and you can see it raises up. Originally, it went up just about flat with the roof because that was all the room you had. That's as far as the hinge would take it up. And you had to pick it up, and you had one of these slider mechanisms that caught the hood, just like you would on a 55 Corvette. Now, this owner wanted to be able to raise it all the way up, so we had to modify the hinge because it's got to go up another foot and a half. So what we did is something that's very common today, and that is these gas shocks that help you lift your tailgate. We use that. Now there's no room for it in the jamb. We have to cut down, if you will, the size of the door on the sides to fit the gas shock in there. You won't notice it, and unless you look at it, it fits up right behind there, right beside there, just like it would in a modern vehicle. Modern vehicles have already designed for that. This was not designed for that, so we had to make it look like it was designed for that. I want you to look at some of the openings here that are in this platform that goes from all the way back here to the back of the front seats. But you can see there are brakes in it, and the one here in the back is for the spare tire. And we left the metal in there just as it was in 1955. So you can see how the well was. And this would have been just a piece of metal or maybe even a piece of cardboard or pressed board wood that fit over this in its original application. When you look up a little bit further, we've added some storage bins. The one closest to the seat is a storage bin. It's insulated and can reach it very handily from the front seat tips forward a little bit, and you can get to it. The second one, it's for the battery compartment. Now, when we originally put this truck together, he had an inverter in there, and he was going to drive computer screens and that sort of stuff. He was going to sell out of the back of this vehicle. And so we had batteries and inverter, and the charging system would charge both of them. It was really pretty elaborate, but it really worked well. That was the interior. It has an audio system in it. It has nice big speakers in the back and in the front. You also, if you turn around and look, you have an air conditioning. We can't have a hot rod without air conditioning. And so the air conditioning was in the dash, just like you'd normally see. We, changed some of the controls so that they'd work the air conditioning side of it, because in 55, it only came with a heater, and that was if you paid the extra for a heater. When we get on the outside of the vehicle now, and you can see how the rust is coming down, and you see the bumpers are rusted and all the little light fixtures are rusted. They're not bumped and they're not bent or creased or anything like that. So we had to go out and find some of these bumpers and light fixtures and everything. And let me tell you, it's much easier to find brand new ones than it is to find old rusty ones that are not torn up. On this engine, the engine compartment, you can see it's consistent with the rust design, so we just kept it throughout, including the core support and all of the inner fenders. The engine is a Chevrolet 350. It has a 330 horse, 4-barrel. It has a 5-speed transmission, a Tremec TKO 500 transmission, and it's got a limited slip rear axle to it, and it's a great overdrive on the highway, and that 5-speed makes it a fun car to drive. It's just like you would remember a 55 Chevy back in the day if you had a 4-speed and a V8 engine in it. It just really complements. It's a power steering box conversion, and just a really nice driving vehicle. We've enjoyed building this vehicle. We really enjoyed driving it and testing it, and so we want to present this to you. And again, it's a 55 Chevrolet Sedan Delivery. Not very many of those survived because they were just work vehicles. It's really been a fun car to build, a fun car to drive. Please give us some feedback on it, like us, and share this video. Thank you so much for viewing Impatient Creations. This is Dennis.